the Senate is lacking.
Lee says her decades in Congress has put her in a position to be the most qualified and experienced candidate. She was first elected to Congress in 1998 after being in the California legislature. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
It's the tire sale of all tire sales. Buy two, get two free. Now at your local Big O Tires. That's two free tires when you buy two. Valid on select tires with purchase of an alignment and tire protection package. Buy two tires, get two free. Now through February 19th. For your nearest store, go to bigotires.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
On a night where the Super Bowl had two black starting quarterbacks for the first time in NFL history, both quarterbacks were spectacular. Patrick Mahomes led a second-half comeback for the Kansas City Chiefs to pull out a three-point win. Mahomes is the first black quarterback to win two Super Bowls. As for Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts, he was just as impressive. 27 of 38 for 304 yards and one TD pass. Hurts ran for 3 touchdowns to tie a Super Bowl record. Mahomes and Hurts showed the NFL that you can build a championship team with a black quarterback running the offense. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by Original Taco Pete's.
This is Aaron at Original Taco Pete's. Let us cater your Super Bowl party and future events. Call 323-348-4441 and visit us at 3272 West Slauson off Crenshaw.
Hi, this is Tavis.
Tavis, this is Dr. Kane. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll be in town on the 28th of February. Can you clear your calendar?
Absolutely, Dr. King. Good Lord, do I have some questions for you, sir. Hi, it's Tavis.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother. This is Minister Malcolm. Now, I heard that you and Martin are getting together for a public dialogue on February 28th. You see, now I already know the date. Now, I know y'all not trying to keep me out of that conversation, are you?
No, sir. No, sir.
What happened to George Floyd shouldn't happen, not even to a dog. How long must the Negro continue to endure this foolishness at the hands of law enforcement? People can take but so much before they reach a breaking point. What do you mean, Black Lives Matter? Black lives haven't mattered in this country since Negroes stopped working for free at the end of slavery. You ought to be talking about Black Guns Matter and start your own NRA. Call it the Negro Revolutionary Amalgamation.
Don't miss this compelling historic radio event, The Return. When Tavis Smiley converses with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Tuesday, February 28th, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unserious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tavis Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. Happy Monday. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing each and every day giving thanks, giving praise, and asking for blessings from God Almighty, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it started, keeping it going. And we do have a lot going on. It's a Super Bowl Monday. So much has transpired in the city, in the state. So, hour one, left coast, LA, greater Los Angeles area, Southern California, the whole state. And hour two, it's the nation, nationwide. Headlines, hot topics. We do freestyle phones, meaning you could change the subject anytime simply by calling 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Hour through 3, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. Today is meant to be Black Love Day, and we have some folks who, well, honestly, they are showing us how it is done. A black couple on or near their 50th anniversary, not just of surviving, but thriving as a couple, a man and wife. So it should be quite a day today. I'm really looking forward to it. Joining me now, she is an organizer with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, an tireless advocate for black people, and I am talking about Sheila Bates. Good morning.
Good morning, Sister Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Happy to be on the air with you and hear your beautiful voice.
Thank you. You know, I always try to start with what's good, even though sometimes it can be hard to find. So for me, what's good? Well, there's always a lot of good things. It's just we have to be mindful, I think, about remembering to focus on what we want, not just what we don't want. For me, it was fun to see. And we'll talk more about it in the second hour when we go national. It was fun to see two black men in the spotlight battling it out in the Super Bowl. No, Miles gave me a look because he's a Philly guy. But it was fun to see two black men representing, at the top of, I know it is the top of our capitalist food chain, but nevertheless the top of our entertainment food chain and elite sports achievements. And it was fun to see Rihanna do her thing, or as actress Kerry Washington said, a Rihanna concert interrupted by a football game. What's good for you this morning, Sheila?
We had our Black Lives Matter Los Angeles meeting last night, our monthly organized meeting, and we had a skate event before, and it was just beautiful to be in community with each other, and then to have a conversation about things going on in the city, including Mayor Karen Bass, and be able to leave with some produce bags and leave full, literally and figuratively.
Right. So those Black Lives Matter membership meetings, anyone can come and find out about joining. They happen. What's the schedule for those? And also, I know now they're at the Center for Black Power, which if you haven't been by, definitely a lot of great things happening there, right in Leimert Park, right at 43rd Place and Crenshaw. So tell me the schedule and how folks can connect with the membership meetings.
Absolutely. So we have our membership. They're actually our general monthly meetings, so they're open to everybody, except for haters and cops in the media, as we say. And they are on the second Sunday of every month. And they are open to all folks, black folks, non-black POC, white people, members, and non-members. We welcome everybody.
Second Sunday of the month. They're always productive, and, well, I take off my media hat when I go. That's what I go only as an activist when I go there. So if you haven't checked it out, I suggest that you do so. And there's so much I want to unpack with you, Sheila Bates. When we come forward, we'll take a look at a whole bunch of organizations, activist organizations in Los Angeles did meet with Mayor Karen Bass on Friday, organized by Black Lives Matter LA, and it was a private meeting meant to share the concerns, the goals, and the knowledge of these community-based organizations with the mayor. So there's things that we can't say. We can't go word by word, or, we can't reveal everything. But we can kind of give a general sense of it, I think. And it was so well attended and so well organized. I just felt like these various community organizations that are allied with Black Lives Matter LA and the People's City Council really showed up in, great variety of different regions, different concerns, activist concerns, areas of expertise. And everybody was so well prepared, so disciplined in their use of time, in their presentation of important information. What was your takeaway? How did you feel when you came out of that, and how are you feeling about it right now on Monday morning?
I think you captured a lot of it. It really showed the breadth and depth of the brilliance and the experience in the room of people who are working really hard in LA to change the dynamics of the city and to really improve life for Black people within Los Angeles across every single sector, right? We had people talking about economics, talking about surveillance, talking about housing, talking about, so many different issues of concern that really touch the lives of Black folks. And it was amazing to just hear the brilliance of everybody in the room and the collective power that was in that space. Yeah,
collective knowledge too. And look, you never know when you deal with community activists and elected officials, right? You never know what the outcome will be. I know Black Lives Matter LA is very, very persistent in following up on things. But after seeing BLM and some of these other organizations, because there were a lot of folks represented there, seeing folks chase elected officials, whether it be Jackie Lacey or Mayor Garcetti trying to get a meeting, it was refreshing to see so early in the administration the exchange of information and the asks that the organizations were well prepared to make of the mayor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you had quite a range from the NAACP to Black Lives Matter LA to gang intervention organizations, and just packed, every seat taken, everyone prepared. What are, I know you can't go super specific, but how do you see next steps?
We're waiting to get a few things in writing, and we also will definitely be following up with her around a few things. And I think another thing that I noticed that was a little bit surprising, because we don't always see this with elected officials, is the way that she was willing to admit that she didn't know some of what we were talking about. So when we were talking about surveillance and some of the programs that came up when the person who was speaking about that mentioned it, that she humbled herself and said, I actually did not know anything about that, and asked her staff to write it down and to look into it. And she didn't know of a few other programs that were mentioned. And I appreciated the humility with which she approached that and said, I'm looking into that. I didn't know about it, and I want to know more, and I want to learn more. And so we'll be following up with her around those things as well.
Got some folks that want to share with us on the phone. I want to talk about your work in Torrance, all of that and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. The Millionaires Roundtable with Lynn Richardson is creating millionaires one family, one day, $1, one dime at a time. KBLA Talk 1580 will be celebrating Black History Month Wealth with Lynn Richardson live on Wednesday, February 22nd at the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon in Leimert Park. Come check out the space. This location has been a bank branch for over 44 years and is now a community center. It provides resources and education to help the community with money goals, home ownership, and entrepreneurship. You and a guest can win lunch with Lynn Richardson February 22nd. Go to KBLA1580.com or the KBLA 1580 mobile app today and register. See you there.
King C. Gillette is the modern man's answer to their facial hair. With a complete set of precision tools, the King C. Gillette line offers the perfect fit for your facial hairstyle. Want to try something great? Try the Style Master, the quintessential styling tool that every man needs to craft their style. It's a waterproof, cordless trimmer with a long-lasting 4-directional blade. It's extremely versatile and designed to edge, trim, and stubble in 4 directions on any hair length. Master your style with King C. Gillette.
Home is where you start the day. Out the door, you're on your way. All the places you wanna go. Maybe you should take it slow. There's so much to care for in your life. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Thinking about hosting a podcast and don't know where to start? Morris Media Studios has you covered. We're a professional podcast and voiceover studio located in Leimert Park. We specialize in recording and live streaming audio and video podcasts. Let us help you set up, record, and distribute your podcast. Hosting a podcast is a great way to bring awareness to your business, product, or good cause. For more info, visit morrismediastudios.com or give us a call at 323-815-4204.
Get ready for an intimate evening with Life Jennings. Valentine's Night, February 14th at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Doors open at 7 p.m., showtime 8. Advance tickets start at $65. Life Jennings and special guests. Valentine's Night at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. For tickets, call 800-595-4849. For more info, call 323-849-9577 or visit jimsbenefitconcert.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is teaming up with LA County Justice Care and Opportunity Department, along with Supervisor Holly Mitchell, to bring you a healing space, well-being, creative expression, and connection as acts of resistance. This event will take place Sunday, February 19th from 12 to 4 p.m. at Irvin Magic Johnson Park, 905 East El Segundo Boulevard in Los Angeles. All are welcome and it's absolutely free.
There will be mental health support, interactive art, an expungement clinic, kids programming, emotional support, animal services, writing workshops, health screenings, dance classes, and employment opportunities. Join us for healing circles, free food, and 3 DJs so you can dance all day long.
It's a healing space and so much more. Sunday, February 19th at Irvin Magic Johnson Park. For more info, visit jcod.lacounty.gov. Healing together with the LA County Justice Care and Opportunities Department, Supervisor Holly Mitchell, and KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, Sheila Bates is our guest. She's with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, and she's an organizer with them, obviously. She leads with the Justice team, policy team, and the Torrance team. And I want to talk about Torrance, Sheila, because I feel like there's so many different campaigns going on and so much to push back on that sometimes we don't talk enough about what's going on in Torrance. We have covered it some. So talk to me about the work you're doing there.
Absolutely. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. Actually, and that's not even actually really our beginning there. We actually started organizing in Torrance after the murder of Michelle Shirley. And then following that, unfortunately, Christopher DeAndre Mitchell was murdered on December 9th of 2018. And we had a vigil for him within a few days. I think it was like 2 days later. And then we're at the city council meeting that following Tuesday, all within the week. And originally came asking for a few things. One, they released the names of the cops who killed Christopher DeAndre Mitchell within 15 seconds of them approaching the vehicle out of Ralph's parking lot. And then that they fire them, that they release the video, that they push for prosecution of the cops who were involved, that they create a civilian oversight commission. And we have had all but 2 of those demands met at this point. And so we are still pushing for and advocating for a civilian oversight commission of their police department, because we know that their city council, who is currently supposed to oversee them, is not capable of doing so. Following the release, just prior to the release of the names of the cops who killed Christopher DeAndre Mitchell, who include Anthony Chavez and Matthew Concannon, and then Brian Calmoto shot Christopher DeAndre Mitchell with a beanbag gun after he was already murdered, was Brian Calmoto. And so just prior to releasing their names, they actually gave both Anthony Chavez and Matthew Concannon a raise. And then they actually subsequently allowed Brian Calmoto to be in city council chambers with his mother and with other people who were advocating on his behalf and calling for justice's name. And ultimately, Brian Calmoto ended up putting hands on at least one person in a city council meeting and brutalizing them along with other cops. We've had 5 arrests in Torrance, and 3 of the people who were arrested ended up being brutalized and hospitalized.
So when you say they allowed this guy, this cop Calmoto, to be in council, you mean when Christopher DeAndre Mitchell's family was there to testify or to observe or whatever, and that they would have one of the officers that was involved in, killing him actually in the meeting? How does that happen?
Yes, they allowed him to be in city council chambers as a uniformed, armed cop who would push us out of the meetings for various things. They kicked Melina Abdullah out of the meeting and I am not even exaggerating, for not looking at the mayor and city council. That is how incredibly cowardly they are and how incredibly strict they are with these rules of decorum that were meant only to silence us. And they pushed us out of city council meetings with police in riot gear, and one of those cops who was in riot gear was Brian Calmoto. And he was there at several meetings, as we found out from public request acts, from PRAs that we filed. And, this has been an ongoing thing. They have pulled back quite a bit, which also is a win, is that they no longer push us out of city council meetings with police in riot gear. We leave on our own accord and continue to do what we've been doing, which is calling for justice in the name of Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. I
mean, and in reality, going to the city council meetings week in and week out for how many years now?
Over 4 years.
Wow.
At this point.
Yeah. But you're seeing progress, as you said. Most of the demands have been met. Police oversight by civilians is always a big ask. Most police departments don't want to cooperate with that. And when they do, many times they make up rules about who can sit on an oversight commission that basically boils it down to police boosters and former officers. So how do we get a truly effective civilian oversight? I mean, because I think we see this with LAPD, having the citizens on those boards of rights. Now, the data is showing that the citizens are more lenient than the police members of those panels, but most of those citizens are former officers. They're somehow involved with the system based on the qualifications that you have to sit on Board of Rights.
Absolutely. A lot of them are so very deeply entrenched and invested within the system, and you're so right. And that's why, we're being very specific about our demand for a civilian oversight commission, and we are demanding that it's an independent civilian oversight commission and are following the best practices for police oversight that came out of Oakland through an organization that we partner with and work with very frequently, the Anti-Police Terrorist Project. And James Birch and Kat Brooks did some brilliant work along with their team to be able to put out these best practices that they really looked at models from across the country about how to best do these things in a way that gets away from exactly what it is that you were speaking of. And so that was sort of that is a model that we're basing our demands on.
So can you give me an idea of some of what we're talking about in terms of best practices?
Absolutely. So part of it is making sure that people who are the most impacted by the system have a say, and that they're at the table, and that they are able to have a voice in regards to what policies and what decisions are made, because they know best about how the harm looks and what the harm feels like. And so they need to be closest to the decision making. It also includes making sure that, the appointments are not made by people who are invested and entrenched in the decision, right? The chief of police should have no say in anything, because otherwise it's just going to, the chief of police would only put in somebody who's going to back them up.
Right.
And that is the complete opposite of what it is that we want. So making sure that, the mayor and the chief of police doesn't have any say in it, making sure that people are compensated, making sure that, if necessary, making sure that meetings are as accessible as possible to the public, right? So when we look at LAPD and their police oversight, all of their meetings are at 9:30 on a Tuesday. That's not accessible to people who work a 9-to-5 job. And they haven't been very good about upholding what they were supposed to do, which is to have nighttime meetings. So making sure that these meetings are at night and that they are readily accessible to people to be able to attend and really bring problems to, and have a place where we can actually address some of these issues in a meaningful way, and making sure that the body that is doing the oversight is not just a rubber stamp body.
Let's go to Lynette calling us from Los Angeles. Hi, Lynette. You're on with Sheila Bates and me. Good morning.
Good morning.
My celebrations in memory of our ancestors, and we know that the struggle continues, but always to God be the glory. Show. And thank you, Ms. Bates. All the queens out there and kings out there, I got to give it up for you. All the tireless work you do, despite all the anti-blackness, especially that have been perpetrated on us since King weekend till present. And with this De Leon situation, I'm checking out these city council meetings, and, the sentiment in the community is basically the same with regard to De Leon, except for some of his constituents. And that's that Paul Krikorian and the city council are enablers of this anti-blackness by having De Leon on the city council. And so besides a recall effort for him, we as the community, the NAACP, all our black fraternities and sororities, need to get with the black meeting planners to level a boycott in many of our cities and counties and states with this anti-black, anti-woke, anti-Jewish sentiment that is accelerated, I believe, sincerely. It's not just Mississippi going back to plantation, as we have heard, politics, but now it's Missouri shutting down black leaders and cutting off their microphones. And they even had the Black Caucus in Missouri have a press conference and a walkout because of this, because of the member being his microphone being shut off, literally. So we have to step up our networking, I believe, and maybe even have our meetings in Barbados with Rihanna with our work. I mean, she's Josephine Baker, like her and Shirley Ralph. This is phenomenal sisters. Get with our Caribbean counterpart, and push our reparations like never before. And y'all have a blessed day.
Boy, Lynette said a whole bunch of stuff, Sheila. We only got 30 seconds before news, traffic, and sports. So we'll unpack some of what she was talking about when we come forward. Didn't get to ask her what is the city council meant to do. They don't actually have the power to remove Kevin De Leon, and yet she's saying they're enablers. I've heard others say that. So what are we asking specifically for the city council to do? That and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Monday. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Over 40 state attorneys general are weighing in on a landmark lawsuit that seeks to overturn the Food and Drug Administration's approval of abortion pills. Protesters took to the streets of Amarillo, Texas Saturday, including Tamika Middleton, managing director of the Women's March.
What I want to do is, one, to again bring that awareness, because in a place like Amarillo, some of these lawsuits can go under the radar, and we won't know that they're happening until they reach the Supreme Court.
Recently, New York Attorney General African-American Letitia James, along with 22 other attorneys general, filed a brief in support of the defense and argued reversing the approval of abortion bills would have devastating consequences for women in the U.S. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
It's the tire sale of all tire sales. Buy two, get two free. Now at your local Big O Tires. That's two free tires when you buy two. Valid on select tires with purchase of an alignment and tire protection package. Buy two tires, get two free. Now through February 19th. For your nearest store, go to bigotires.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
On a night where the Super Bowl had two black starting quarterbacks for the first time in NFL history, both quarterbacks were spectacular. Patrick Mahomes led a second-half comeback for the Kansas City Chiefs to pull out a three-point win. Mahomes is the first black quarterback to win two Super Bowls. As for Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts, he was just as impressive. 27 of 38 for 304 yards and one TD pass. Hurts ran for 3 touchdowns to tie a Super Bowl record. Mahomes and Hurts showed the NFL that you can build a championship team with a black quarterback running the offense. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by Original Taco Pete's.
This is Aaron at Original Taco Pete's. Let us cater your Super Bowl party and future events. Call 323-348-4441 and visit us at 3272 West Slauson off Crenshaw.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
The Los Angeles Urban League and Parkside Economic Development Corporation are working to close the wealth gap between black and white households. B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program's free virtual workshops will help your family acquire, gain, maintain, and pass down legacy wealth. Learn from the experts about making more with what you have, the Black history of money, joining the Smart Investors Club, preserving your assets in tough times, crypto, cash in or cash out, the wealthy mind and body. Register for this free series that could change your financial future at laul.org/BWAARP. Don't miss B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program, every second and fourth Thursday in February, March, and April at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Register now at laul.org/BWAARP.
Hi, I'm Ariva Martin, and I'm the host of the new Drive Time show, Ariva Martin in Real Time, on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm also a mother and a child advocate, and when my son Marty was diagnosed with autism, I was devastated. I knew I had to do something, so I started the Special Needs Network, and for over 15 years, we have been helping families with children with autism. Now, through a new program called CORE, we can help you. We can help you take your career to the next level by training you to become an early childhood interventionist, working with children ages 0 to 3. The CORE program will pay you $25 an hour while you are in training, pay off $10,000 of your student loan debt, and help you find a good paying job. Call 323-291-7100 or visit snnla.org to learn how you can become a CORE fellow and take your career to the next level. Don't hesitate. Apply today.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. So Sheila Bates is with me. She's got a big portfolio. She's an organizer with Black Lives Matter LA, the Justice team, the Torrance team, and the policy team. And Lynette was talking about Kevin De Leon, feeling that the council members, the Los Angeles City Council members, are enablers because they have not done anything to remove him, even though they do not have the power per the city charter. I know Black Lives Matter LA is still very much active in seeking to remove him. What do you think the city council ought to do?
I think that's a great question, and I think, they censured him, right? And the censure doesn't mean anything if he's still allowed to bring forward motions and if he's still allowed to vote. And, still allowed to make speeches from the horseshoe, which he does frequently. And so I think it's about non-cooperation and making sure that he's rendered useless. So that way, he's already been stripped of his committees, but making sure that he's not able to actually do anything that, one, can continue to harm his district, right? Because he has proven himself unworthy of being able to vote on behalf of his district, which includes Skid Row, which is the largest open-air encampment that is predominantly black folks. And so a person who is clearly anti-black, clearly anti-houseless, right, by virtue of his comments and by virtue of the way that he voted on 4118 and the way that he voted to increase the LAPD budget, right? So I think it's making sure that he's rendered as useless as possible so that he cannot continue to harm his district and Los Angeles at large, because what he votes on doesn't just affect his district, and what he does doesn't just affect his district. It affects all of us within Los Angeles. And so I think making sure that he is not able to do anything, and so that his hands are tied and he will have to resign and cannot continue to harm the community.
Yeah, so you're talking about like actively hating on him in terms of allowing him to get anything done. And to me, that's sensible, right? Because if you don't have the power to remove, you do have the power. And I get that, the council is moving important stuff right now. But I don't know exactly how that looks, but I feel like everything possible that can be done, it's reasonable for us to ask that of our council members, everything possible that can be done to neutralize this anti-renter, anti-indigenous, anti-LGBTQ, anti-kid council member to get him out of there or render him irrelevant, I think should be done.
Absolutely. And, they can also, from my understanding, they can also move to take away some of his benefits, right? So he's getting paid $237,000 every year out of taxpayer money to sit there and be a racist and be a bigot and be anti-black. And that's absolutely unacceptable. So, I get that it was different circumstances, but, they did move against a certain city council member to remove his pay, right? And there's been some controversy after that. But they can do other things like remove a city car, remove some of the other perks and benefits that he gets.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that's within their purview to be able to do so.
Interesting. They may be shell-shocked after they were pretty much rebuked for shutting down council member Mark Ridley Thomas's pay and benefits, and they actually had some kind of settlement in that case. I don't remember all the details, but it cost them money. So maybe they're being cautious. I don't know, though. I think those are sensible things, and it's clear that none of us have forgotten, including the voters, because if you look at that LA Times polling, by the way, Lynette, it's true there are some people in his district, but Kevin De Leon now is not faring much better among Latino people or people in his district than with the general public, which overwhelmingly wants him to go away. Let's go to Carl calling us from Los Angeles. Hi, Carl. Good morning. Jumbo, hola, what's up?
Lafayette, good morning to both of you. My question is, I see Miss Bass, Mayor Bass, caught us off guard yesterday during the Super Bowl. It was my sleep rest day anyway, but she had the speech there at the church. How sincere do you guys think that speech was yesterday? Is this to put the black church back on top? And is she still taking over that reparation program that Mayor Garcetti left, is Mayor Bass going to pull that program up for the people?
That program is now part of the structure of our city government. And because I feel very certain that the mayor is supportive of the initiative, it's not going anywhere. It is now housed in the Department of Civil Rights. It is a city commission, just like the police commission or the Department of Water and Power Commission. It's now a permanent city commission. So we'll have to see. About the speech, I didn't see it. I don't know. Sheila, do you have any thoughts about either of those items that Carl is bringing forth?
I did not see the speech myself either. I do agree with you in your assessment around how she will move around reparations, and I hope that does happen because it's long overdue in the city and the nation.
Yeah, Carl, what was something you saw in the speech that made you call and question? I mean, was there something specific she said or did? I think, Carl's gone. I think activating the black church is, we can almost look at it as standard for politicians, but you got to look at what church and what are they being activated to do. And one of the conversations that I'm hearing is accessing some of that church land or finding ways to make it affordable, feasible for some of these churches to build affordable or permanent housing for unhoused people, but also for folks that are in danger of becoming houseless. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I know those conversations are taking place. I also want to point out, Sheila, and maybe you want to speak to this a little bit, the meeting that we referenced, which was a private meeting, and again, I was there with my activist hat more than my press hat. It was not a press event. There were just me and the Bakewells were the only press people there. I want to point out that this was a meeting of black organizations led by BLMLA, but there were maybe, I don't know, at least 10 organizations, maybe 15 represented in the room, but they were all black organizations. And I just say that to say there's been so much conversation about black erasure, and we have a lot of concern about this term BIPOC and the idea that DEI somehow blends black people in with everyone else and doesn't recognize our specific level of hate and challenge. And so I don't know what are your thoughts on that in terms of the meeting that took place on Friday?
I think it was incredibly important, and we see, that this was sort of a first, right? Jackie Lacey didn't take any meetings such as that, and neither did, Garcetti. And so I think it's incredibly important that she did so. And like you said, there are so many organizations in the space that really represented such a large representation of Los Angeles, and most of those folks were walking in with multiple hats themselves, right? Many of them were BLMLA members who were also members of other organizations or were leading other work as well, and are in constant collaboration and communication with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles around their work. And so I think it's incredibly important that all of those people, took time out of their day, and it was a very quick turnaround, right? We made the request for this meeting just a little over a week prior to that at our weekly End Police Association action, which is every Wednesday. I won't make everybody have to listen to the Baba Akili way of hearing it because it's early in the morning, and you might not want to hear some screaming of some long, elongated E's. But every Wednesday at 4 p.m. at 1313 West 8th Street. And that was when we had a press conference immediately following the release of the information that Chief Michael Moore was reappointed, which obviously was something that we were advocating against. And we had a press conference, and we called for the meeting then. And pretty quickly, everybody was able to make it to this meeting. And it was, like you said, so well planned, and that's the beauty and power and brilliance of Black folks.
I mean, that's one of the things that I wanted to let people know that weren't there, because it's not meant to be a public meeting. But the fact that so many Black organizations are coming together, that they're united, that they're working on our behalf, that they're making specific requests, asks of the mayor of the city. I think people would smile and feel good if they knew that, because it's not that people are just electing the mayor and then walking away, or that people, we love to repeat this talking point that doesn't serve us, that black people aren't united, or that we are trifling. And I think that that particular meeting was a great example of discipline, unity, and showing up with a specific agenda, a list of specific asks that were well articulated, and it was just, I think, a great moment for Black LA. Talking with Sheila Bates, NU 800-920-1580. This is First Things First. I'm Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com. California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com.
Star Andrews becomes the first black woman to win a medal at a U.S. figure skating championship since 1988, the year I was born. Maisha Kaiwa here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. After skating in the national championship program in January, figure skater Star Andrews became the first black woman in over 3 decades to win a medal at the U.S. Figure Skating Championship located in San Jose, California. Black Enterprise reports the 21-year-old finished 4th overall after completing the 2-day competition with a score of 188.24 and a free skate score of 119.27. I'm Maisha Kyle for KBLA 1580, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Thanks to our news sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all of the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to lunch for 10, sponsored by John O'Groats family-owned restaurant and johnogroats.us. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to submit your office to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you're just like our staff, putting in many hard, smart working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA1580.com to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. Sponsored by John O'Groats family-owned restaurant and johnogroats.us. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action. We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
We are talking with Sheila Bates from Black Lives Matter LA. Sheila, how did you get connected? How did you get inspired to dedicate so much time, effort, and heart to the movement?
I actually got started because I was very angry in 2016, as many of us were, prior to following the election, and joined one of the Facebook groups that Black Lives Matter has, and was, very active on the page, and then was asked to come to a meeting, and ended up going to the meeting, and then ultimately ended up going on what I think really cemented it was going to the border when there was a lot of, when a lot of the issues regarding immigration really came to a head under Trump's administration. And we went to the border on a bus with a whole bunch of folks, and I was able to meet so many amazing people and just be in solidarity with folks, and really got to see the breadth and the depth of the work that Black Lives Matter Los Angeles was doing, and really that's what cemented it, and continue to do the work and show up to a bunch of things, and ended up on the policy team and the healing justice team, and ended up also in Torrance, and just was really surprised, not really surprised, but was really overwhelmed by the sense of community that Black Lives Matter Los Angeles was able to provide, and that it made me feel less alone in the world, that I wasn't just out here with these ideas that everybody else thought were wild and unattainable, and that people were actually fighting and doing the work, and not just talking, but actually moving their bodies and moving people and putting their lives and their livelihoods on the line to continue to do what they thought was right. And that was very admirable, and really it really spoke to me, being the granddaughter of a labor union organizer, and the a lot of my aunties and grandmas and ancestors all fought in various ways against the system, and to be able to continue to do this work is a deep, deep honor.
Yeah. How does it mitigate the anger?
It's wonderful to be able to channel your righteous and indignant rage, and eloquent rage, as Brittany Cooper would call it, at those who hold the power to be able to do something and refuse to do so. So, a lot of times being very upset and being very angry, and this was, in 2016, being able to go and yell at Jackie Lacey's office was very cathartic. It's a form of healing justice in of itself to stand up and say, no, this is not right, and I'm going to make my voice very clear about where I stand on this. And it's very empowering to take that rage and to be able to channel it in a way that's actually doing something, as opposed to just stewing, which is what I was doing prior.
Yeah. I call it Mind Right Monday, because we do what we can to set our intentions, and we have Mindful Monday with Sahara Ali, where we do a guided meditation and affirmation every week. And so I love to hear about people's journeys in dealing with anger, stress, concern, and action, praying with our feet, as Dr. Melina Abdullah likes to say. It's one of the most satisfying ways to feel better, no matter what you're going through. At least that's what I find. We're talking with Sheila Bates and you. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We may be LA's newest talk station, but when you're punching above your weight, it's not about whether you can throw a punch. Can you take a punch? We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. And we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles seeks to achieve justice for people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. The foundation provides direct representation, offers counsel and advice, provides referrals, educates the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars, and supports individuals and families by protecting human and civil rights. To get legal help, to donate, or to volunteer, please visit lafla.org. That's lafla.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we stand with young people. We don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is growing at a phenomenal pace, and we need to enlarge our territory. We are seeking smart, creative solution providers to join the KBLA delegation and go higher with us. If you or someone you know is interested in joining our team as a brand manager, go to our website at KBLA1580.com. Tap on employment opportunities and let us hear from you. We're not looking for everybody or just anybody, but you could be that special somebody. Come grow with us. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Every school day was a vaping day for me. It wasn't a social thing anymore. Suddenly it became something I was doing independently every day. Recently, I was sitting next to somebody on the freeway, and I saw them vaping. I was like, wow, is that what I look like? And that didn't sit too well with me. That image has been a big motivation to quit.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text I Can Quit to 66819 today.
Less BS per broadcast. Fewer microaggressions per megawatt. KBLA Talk 1580.
Sheila, so much to cover, and I appreciate you waking up early with us on this day. But I want to make sure you give out whatever information you want to give about where to follow you and BLMLA and BLM Grassroots and upcoming actions and things you want folks to know about.
Yes, folks can please follow us on all social media channels at BLM Grassroots, and for the Los Angeles chapter, so that's Grassroots. For people who do not know, that is our global network, and then you can also follow the Los Angeles chapter on Instagram at BLM Los Angeles. We're also on Facebook and BLMLA at BLMLA. And then, next upcoming actions is you can join us this Tuesday at the Police Commission, and you can also, which is virtual, and then you can also join us on Wednesday at our weekly End Police Association action at 4 p.m. at 1313 West 8th Street, and where we will be continuing to talk about Black History Month and the importance and legacy of that. And then you can also join us next Tuesday, because Torrance City Council only meets every other week, at 3031 Torrance Boulevard at 6:30 p.m. to come and support justice in the name of Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. And you can get all of the details about how to plug in a little bit more if you missed some of those details by following us on Instagram. All of the actions will be posted on our Instagram and on Twitter.
Okay, and what about you personally? You want to give out your Twitter or anything?
Sure. My Twitter is Curl Power. Is it still Curl Power? Yes, Curl Power 860409. And you can see. I love a good pun, Sister Dominique.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I love a good pun, too. Anything that makes a smile or a laugh come out is something I'm here for sure. I guess what I want to ask you, we've got about a minute and a half here. What do you want to leave us with? Certainly Black Lives Matter is continues to be very popular with Black people, but is taking a beating in some areas of the press. What do you want to leave us with this morning?
I think there's a very large misconception about who we are and what we do. And we really do so much to end state-sanctioned violence, and it's not just, it is protest, and it's so much more than protest. We had a skate event today. We have a healing justice event and community clinics before every single one of our meetings. This is another reason why you should come. We just do so much work, and there's really so much love that is grounded in all of the work that we do. And it's love and anger, right? Because those two things exist in the same time and at the same place, especially if you're paying attention to what's going on. We've got to love on our folks, and we have a whole bunch of reasons to be angry, and all of those are reasons to plug into the work. And we'd love to see you out here on these streets and continuing to do the work for Black liberation, because we know when Black folks get free, everybody gets free.
Well, Sheila, thank you for being with me today, and thanks for all the work you do. I really think you're right. Most people are just looking at the surface. If you haven't been, or you haven't been since 2020, the joy, the community, the arts, and the love that are part of the Black Lives Matter protest model are just fun and inspiring and also serious all at once.
Absolutely. You can really see that at our End Police Association action, right? We do stretching. We do a grounding. We pour libations. We're dancing. There's an artistic expression. We make sure that the building across the street knows how we feel about them in various ways. And it's really just a beautiful, beautiful struggle.
Sheila Bates, thanks so much. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then we're going to talk, we got Mindful Monday with Sahara Ali. We're talking Super Bowl. Man, we got a lot to do. Happy Monday. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580.